All right, guys. Good morning. How's everyone doing? Sorry for I'm talking in the chat, and I didn't even realize it was 8:01. So, how's everyone doing? Good morning. Good morning. Um, Yesterday, another weekday. So yeah, we were on this stream yesterday, and we were just trying to be as cautious as possible on that early morning push, right? That early morning push we saw off of CPI data, and it gave back the entire move, and that is just not. It's not good. It's not very good to see that. You can see yesterday we gave back that entire CPI data move on the tech side, so not great there. So yeah, I mean today there is, as you guys can see from the title of this live stream, there is a major level that we are testing. We tested yesterday, we held, and we are testing this morning as well. So I want to show you guys that level. This is a make or break it level. Seriously, I mean if we break this here, I don't see much reasons to be bullish at all into the near future. This is basically where you want to see us hold. It's a previous support, and it's an inverse head and shoulder that I think needs to hold up for any type of opportunity to the upside. If not, I feel like we're going to get pretty weak here. Ugly price action over the last week. Tech really seems to be dying off in the short term. We saw the 10-year Treasury spike yesterday. We saw some bonds increase. So not a great situation for tech, guys. Something that I've been trying to stay away from. Not looking at many calls on the tech side. It's just really weak. As you guys can see, focusing more on like the XLP names, the energy names, the consumer staples, energy. Sort of rotation that we've been seeing. Tech has just been getting hit, especially the semiconductors. Semiconductors have been getting really hit. So we'll look at some of that today. We'll look at the Nasdaq. We'll look at the ES. We'll look at everything and some individual names that I'm watching, and try to prepare ourselves the best we can for today. So let's do that. We had a few earnings today. We had Delta, we had JP Morgan, we had a few others, but definitely going to talk about the Delta earnings, because Delta earnings is giving the airlines this morning a very nice upside move. So that's something we'll talk about today. The airlines look decent for maybe a little push here. You have Jets, the JETS ETF, Jets. If anyone here is a Jets fan. But yeah, Jets ETF is up this morning because of Delta's positive earnings, and the rest of the airlines are looking pretty good. So we'll look at that. Futures, economic earnings calendar. Not much on this Wednesday, I don't believe, but definitely some stuff tomorrow. Let me pull it up here. Yeah, nothing much today. You guys can see producer price index. Let's see what that. This is basically CPI, but for producers, people that actually make the product. So we'll see what the producer price index is. We'll see if that is market moving. It may definitely affect a little bit. What happened, amateur? Producer price index, and then tomorrow, jobless claims, retail sales. Just the normal stuff on a Thursday. So nothing too crazy there. CPI data was the big one, and we saw that reaction and then gave back the entire move. Excuse me. Then earnings calendar. Here's earnings calendar. Right here, guys. So we can see this morning we had JP Morgan, we had Delta, BlackRock, Bed Bath & Beyond, and that's about it. Tomorrow, before open, we have Wells Fargo, Goldman Sachs, Citi, Morgan Stanley, United Health Group, PNC, Ally Bank. So we have a lot of stuff here. We have a lot of banks. It's all about banks this week. XLF and the financial sector should be something to keep an eye out for. So that's that. Nothing too much major that we have to look forward to here on the economic calendar. So I think we're okay for now. Just jobless claims tomorrow. I think that's something to keep an eye out for. Nvidia, Microsoft. If we'll sort of go through a bullish scenario here, which I'm going to be very cautious of pushing or even talking about, because it's very difficult to even, markets are closed Friday. I just remembered that, Mike. It's very difficult. Yeah, let me go ahead and pull that up. Thanks for reminding me there, Mike. I want to make sure everyone's aware of that. So here you go, guys. Market holidays. You can always look this up. So this Friday, Good Friday, April 15th, the market is closed. Market's closed this Friday, guys. So no stream. Maybe I'll do a little stream for maybe like when the market's closed, just to review the week. That could be fun. But April 15th, this Friday, guys, no market. I don't know why I can't talk. Is the market, I'm trying to see if the market is closed early on Thursday. I don't believe so. Is the market closed early on Thursday? I don't believe so. I don't see it down here. I don't see it down at the bottom. I'm trying to see if market's closed early on Thursday. I don't think so, guys. So I think we have a full day Thursday. If I'm wrong, correct me in the chat. But definitely closed on Friday this week. Okay, so Nvidia, Microsoft. We'll talk a little bit about a possible bullish scenario, which I think is very far-fetched right now, and I wouldn't trust it with any type of real capital. But I'll talk about it, and if that bullish scenario does work out on the Nasdaq, I like Nvidia and Microsoft to the upside. So that is something I am watching. I'm not very confident on it, but something I am watching. If we see some type of change here on the sentiment, those are the two that I want to be watching. PayPal, very weak this morning. The CFO left the company and is going to Walmart. Excuse me. PayPal weak this morning because of that news. And even on the chart, it looks terribly weak. So I want to show you guys this. This could be a nice opportunity to the downside. Square, the same type of formation, support to resistance. It's very clear that 130 support that we were holding. I don't know if anyone remembers. If you sort of have a memory of what charts have been doing in the recent trend, Square has been holding a 130 level, the break and retest level of 130. We've traded off of it. We've watched it. It finally broke below and now is turning into resistance. That's a very clear bearish signal when you see a previous support turn back into resistance. So that is happening on Square, and that is definitely weak, and I want to show you. Delta, DAL, positive earnings this morning, and it's pushing up the rest of the airline sector. LUV, Love, you have United, UAL, you have JetBlue, you have Save, which is Spirit, which is being bought by JetBlue, I believe, not sure. And then you have JETS, which is Jets. That's the ETF, and that's up this morning as well. So let's look at those. XLP, looking to see if the XLP does a retest of all-time highs. You guys know I've been looking at these retests of all-time highs. Did it on Costco. We're looking at it on Walmart as well today. And the XLP is another one that maybe is going to hold that all-time high as a support level. So I want to show you that. XLF, we'll talk about the banks. And then finally, Abbvie. ABBV, which is just a monster of a stock, has been pulling back the last 2 days. And I think it's going to come back to the 20 SMA and the daily chart. So I want to make sure everyone's watching that. If you guys are looking for a pullback on a traditionally very strong stock, maybe to buy some shares, maybe to buy some options, I would be looking at the 20 SMA, which we'll talk about today. So let me say one thing here, just so we sort of get an idea of what's going on in the market, or even in my head. The opportunities on the charts have not been... A lot of charts are in very strange areas right now. So I don't see as many opportunities in this market on the daily charts, on the longer term time frames. You really are in a very choppy area. After a push higher, you're pulling back. You're not really at much structure. So it's been difficult to find really solid setups on the daily chart. And that's why, I've even had trouble finding stuff to look at in the morning here, guys, because Sometimes there's a lot of stuff going on and a lot of very nice setups, and sometimes you're sort of in the middle. You're sort of in the middle of either, you know, a good setup to the upside or a good setup to the downside. You're sort of chilling in the middle right now, in my opinion. I'll sort of explain that, you know, later if I have some time. I'll show you some charts to sort of signify what I'm talking about here. All right, Nasdaq. All right, guys. So here is something I am very interested in on the Nasdaq. Now, I don't know if this actually works out, and I don't know, you know, I don't know if this is something that will hold up in a pretty weak tech market. But this right here is an inverse head and shoulder. That is the definition of one right here. What you guys are looking at here on the Nasdaq is an inverse head and shoulder. All right, you have a left shoulder, a head, and a right shoulder. An inverse head and shoulder is a bullish technical formation. If I was to swap this chart, you would probably tell me this is a pretty bearish head and shoulder, right? You can see here, left shoulder, right shoulder, and head. And I think we could all agree that this would be pretty bearish, and you would expect the stock to do something like this, right? So I'm not ready to call that, or I'm not ready to put risk on the table, you know, trying to catch this, but this is something that is really, really in my head right now, and trying to see if I am, you know, if I can spot any signs of a potential bounce off this left shoulder level here. This is where I would want to start to see something of this nature start to form. I'm not sure if it's going to happen. I'm not here to tell you it's for sure happening, but I'm here to tell you is that it's definitely there, and it's definitely something you're going to want to watch, because people that are laser focused on this, let's say it does happen, whoever's laser focused on this and starts to see, you know, a little upside continuation and gets in early here with the good risk to reward, they're going to be handsomely paid if this thing pushes higher, right? Because the risk to reward down here for upside is pretty high, because you would obviously need to stop out below this key level, and you would have a very nice margin to the upside if the inverse head and shoulder works out. I'm not sure, guys. I'm probably like 50-50 on this. I really haven't gotten enough confirmation on the chart to say that this is something that's going to happen. So I'm not ready to say anything solid here, but it's definitely there, and it's pretty clear. The levels, the key level that I'm talking about, that needs to hold today, I think it's 13,850. I think it's 13,850. I think 13,850 is a monster level. I think if we break that 13,850 on the Nasdaq, I think it's donezo for the short term. Now, why do I say that? Because if we look back and we look back at these lows and we look back at these highs right here, you guys can see 13,850 has been a crucial level. I mean, look at all these taps right at 13,850. Look at this resistance at 13,850, another resistance, another support here, and another support here. I mean, it's like all over this line. 13,850, there is tests of this line all over the place over the last 3 to 4 months. So I think that if you hold 13,850, you could see something start to form here. If you crack below this, I do not see much reason that this market does not start to really unravel here. So this is huge in my opinion, right here. This is sort of the line in the sand, right? You know, if you're on the bottom side of this, I think very dangerous. If you're holding above this level here, I think there's still a possibility of a support hold. So I'm not taking risk here because, you guys can see the trend is clearly down. There is no signs of a confirmation, no signs of an uptrend, no signs of a consolidation just yet. So I wouldn't be chasing it to the upside here just yet. But if I start to see maybe a few days of this, maybe one day like this, I'm going to take my risk here. Absolutely. If I start seeing something like this start to form, I am going to put risk on the table. Because it's just these are the times where, people will tell you you're stupid for taking trades like this, but this is also the time where you get the most risk, you get the most reward for your risk, guys. A lot of people, I like to take high risk reward plays because I'm not scared to be wrong, right? I really don't care if I lose money on a high risk reward play. And I don't care to show you guys that I lose money because I know this is a quality setup if I wait for some type of confirmation to form. I know that's a quality setup. In my mind, it is at least because I know that I'm getting in a position where I have a good risk reward, right? For me, getting in puts here is a really bad risk reward because where would my stop loss be? It would have to be up here. My stop loss is not going to be 1,000 points higher. So I don't think it's a bad play getting in puts, but I think put short term is probably good, like sort of a short term scalp to the downside, just follow the weakness. I like that. But a longer term play, I would rather be looking for the risk to reward. So I'm not ready to say anything positive, but that's just my idea, guys. That's what I'm looking for on this market. If it doesn't work out, if we break down 13,850 today, then I would be absolutely looking for downside. If you see something like this, then we're going down. Definitely going down. So 13,850 is big time for me today. That's what I'm watching. This looks like a very interesting chart. Volume has been increasing in the short term. You guys can see over the last 4 to 5 days, volume has definitely been increasing. And that is similar to what started to happen here too, right, guys? So you see this downside move, volume started to increase tremendously as we started to hold. And we saw the reaction, right? Volume started to increase tremendously. We saw a little bit of a bounce. This time, volume didn't really increase. But this time, you're starting to see that volume pop in again. So hopefully you guys see what I'm talking about here. I'm not, I'm just watching this line. That's it. 13,850. I'm watching the line, and that line is going to make sort of give me the deciding factor of what we're going to start to do here. But I want to make sure that I'm laser focused on what price action is showing me in the next few days. What is the price action showing me over the next few days here? That's big. That's important to me, and I want to make sure I'm focused on it. All right, ES. It looks like we're bouncing off an ES level as well. Let's see. Yeah, look at this. So ES, similar, not exactly the inverse head and shoulder because that inverse head and shoulder would come back down to here. So this would be, you can see the ES is a little bit far off that left shoulder level. That would be all the way at 4,300, which we are not at yet. Where the ES is holding is actually a previous pivot little level here around 4,380. So if I go to the 4-hour chart, you guys can see. If I go to the 4-hour chart, right here, you guys can see how clean that hold of 4,380 was yesterday. So 4,380 on the ES is the line in the sand. If you break 4,380, then I would be, concerned about downside, right? Because look at how clean that previous resistance was, and look at how it tried to hold it yesterday. So if I go to the 5-minute chart, look at this, guys. Look how perfect. So we dropped right back into it end of day yesterday, and just look how clean it is off that green bar. Green zone. So you can see a little bit of bounce off the green zone. However, this is not any type of strong price action. I will let you know that is not strong. So there's a very good chance we come back and test this again today and even break through it. So this is the major level today, guys. 4,380 on the ES. If you break 4,380 today and you start to trade under it, something like this, right? That's no good. That's definitely going to give us downside. If you want to look for that inverse head and shoulder, if you want to look for upside, you have to see 4,380 hold today. This is a huge, huge level. Okay. Dow, same level, 34.2. It continues to just sort of trade around this 34.2. I'm not going to go too much into it, but 34.2, that's just a big level. If that breaks, you have some, wicks in this area down here that you could watch out for. Maybe down in that 33.8 area. You guys can see previous support into resistance, very clear. Previous support into resistance. Maybe you find some support down here around 33.8. The Dow's just been sort of chilling and not really too important right now. So I really don't care to look at the Dow too much because really what's moving this market right now is the ES and the Nasdaq movement. The Dow has just sort of been just trading sideways. So I'm not too worried about the Dow, but if you are looking at Dow-related stocks, such as the airlines, then yeah, keep an eye on this. See if it holds this 34.2. Russell, just doing its own thing. Sideways, nothing. Right in the middle of a range. I have no words. It's just doing its own thing. Nothing of importance in my opinion. Okay, so that's that, guys. Nasdaq inverse head and shoulder. Let's see if that happens. If it does, I am definitely going to be looking at two plays. The first one is Nvidia. Nvidia has got wrecked in the short term, very much wrecked, and you know, maybe it's for a good reason, because semiconductors have been really, really weak, and I just am looking at this, and I am looking at the 210 level. If the Nasdaq finds any type of support, if the Nasdaq, by the grace of God, does actually do the inverse head and shoulder, and we see a bounce off that level, I am definitely interested in Nvidia here. This stock has sold off 27% in just about 2 weeks, and it is sitting right at a major support level. I want to see, can I be one that catches this with an extremely high risk reward? I mean, this is like insane stuff here. Let me go to the 4-hour chart. You really don't need to risk much if you start to see confirmation on the Nasdaq. I mean, if this thing breaks this 210, then I really don't see this being a very good trade. So you don't have much risk here. I mean, maybe you push it down to like maybe 208, 207. That would really only be your risk here. If the market does show some confirmation to the upside, your reward would be pretty fantastic. So this is what I'm watching to see if this would be the vehicle that I use to trade if the Nasdaq does actually hold up. Now, I am, guys, just as I talk about this, please remember, I do not know if this is going to happen. These are just hypothetical things that I'm looking at. I'm not ready to put risk on the table on anything here, but these are hypotheticals that I'm talking about and trying to prepare, or at least give you an idea of what I'm looking at. So this is definitely something I am watching right now actively over the next few days, since over the last few days and into the future. What I am looking for to see if it occurs. So Nvidia, big pullback. I'm watching this level. I want to see, what does the price action show me here at this level. I don't want to lose sight of a possible little hold here and to start a curl that may start to occur. So that's what I'm watching on Nvidia. But for that to work, the Nasdaq needs to hold up. And if the Nasdaq does not hold up, that is not going to work. It's the same exact thing on Microsoft, right, guys? It's no different. The exact same chart, pretty much. Microsoft probably has a little bit of room to the downside. These are pretty, sort of not the cleanest charts, not the cleanest lower wicks on Microsoft. You can see we had lows here back in October, and then you had the lows that sort of came down. I mean, they're all over the place. 270, 274. It's not very clean. So that's the reason why I'd probably go with Nvidia here, because this area is too large for me to know exactly where that wick could come down to. I think the best thing to do here on Microsoft is just wait until you get some confirmation to the upside. That's what I'm waiting for. That's what I'm looking for. But Microsoft and Nvidia both have very similar charts here on the 4-hour. A little bit of a triple bottom, previous support, turning into support again. If the Nasdaq does anything to the upside, these two are on my watch list. Jamie, it's just not a question that I can physically or possibly answer. All right, PayPal. Yeah, leap time on Nvidia. I don't mind that. I mean, let's wait for the Nasdaq to show something though. All right, guys. PayPal very, very weak here, and weak this morning because of some news about their CFO. But I want to show you one thing that just sort of exactly shows why PayPal is falling, and it's really clear. I mean, it's all technical here. You guys can see a previous resistance that turned into support, right? It's very clear. 112.70, right? You have, let me make these bigger. Extra large. That's extra large, huh? Damn. All right, so previous resistance into support. into support, back into resistance, and back into resistance. Look at how you pushed right into that 112.70. And look at this right here, guys. This is textbook stuff, right? Look at this rejection here. What is this? Is this yesterday? Yesterday morning. I mean, it's hard to catch everything. It's hard to see it all. In hindsight, you find them on the charts and you say, damn, that was nice. You're going to have to try to, break it down to a small amount of stocks, try to watch them very consistently, try to keep an eye on the levels as much as you can. But this right here, I mean, that is really, really clean stuff. And even if you didn't catch it here today, I think there could be more. So I love PayPal to the downside because of that. You can clearly see what happened here. You can clearly see the previous resistance turn into resistance again after it turned into support previously, right? It turned into support and now it is back at resistance. And I would be looking to see if you can fade this move more with a stop above that 112.70. Very easy stop loss, very easy level to know where the stock cannot get above, right? Really clean stuff. So I'd keep an eye on PayPal with that very clean rejection here at 112.70, which was a previous support level. Very nice. That's just technical analysis for you right there, guys. That is the textbook definition of technical analysis. Why is this level important? And you can clearly see how important it was here yesterday. Previous support into resistance. So that's definitely a watch for me. Square's doing the exact same thing, guys. Square is doing the exact same thing. 130, support, support, resistance, resistance. I'm not going to go over this too long. All I'm going to say is Square is turning 130 into resistance. You put a stop above 130. You play it to the downside because obviously you don't want to see it back to 130. You just got a double top confirmation of weakness off a previous support. That is really all that I would want to see for confirmation. You just have to be willing to manage the risk, watch the trade. If you think tech goes lower, then I think Square goes lower. That depends on what the Nasdaq does, but that is a very nice double top rejection. Previous resistance turns into support and has turned back into resistance. Very nice. Delta Airlines. So 1 minute chart. This is this morning, guys. You can see earnings, big pop. We have, so what do they say here? Better than expected earnings, forecasts quarterly profit in Q2. So they're forecasting a Q2 profit. That's probably why it's going up. Because where are they down? I think they're down on, they didn't even turn a profit, did they? I think it's all about Q2 profits. Here's an more stream-friendly way to look at it. Forecast a quarterly profit as travelers keep flying despite higher fares, helping offset surging fuel costs. So I'm sure fuel cost is a headwind for them. But it says they expect to return a profit in this quarter thanks to jump in bookings and fares. So that's probably why the stock is moving higher, just because of future expectations. That would be my understanding of it. Gas prices are higher, not helping airlines. So they actually missed on EPS. No, adjusted loss per share. So they actually did better than they're not. It's not a profitable EPS. It's actually a negative EPS. So not as bad. I'm trying to think of the word. Not as bad EPS and a better than expected revenue. So let's see what happens. First quarter fuel bill rose 6%. Look at that. Delta's first quarter fuel bill. So they spend $2 billion in fuel in a quarter. My God. That's crazy. I'd like to know what the cost of jet fuel is per gallon. Anyone know? They probably don't even price it off per gallon, but I'd be interested. All right, so yeah, we'll look at the producer price index in a second. But Delta, nice move to the upside, guys. If I had to be honest, the daily chart sort of just like it's just like dead money. That might change in the future. For me, airlines haven't been really a place that I've held my money at because you can see Delta, UAL, Save, JetBlue. They've all just been really sideways stocks for quite some time. They've been it's a tough time for airlines, and not really a place I'd want to invest my money, to be quite honest, at this time. I think you can just wait it out and get into it when it starts to actually push. Just been sort of going down for almost a year now, just slowly declining for a year. So we'll see. We'll see what this Delta Airlines sort of push does for the airline sector today. I'm sure it gives it a little bit of a push. Jets, the ETF, JETS, you guys can see is up this morning as well. So if you want, look at the airlines. Maybe Boeing gets a little bit of a push off that. I think it already is this morning. So a little bit of a push on BA. If you want to try to follow that, keep an eye on the airlines today. I personally don't trade the airlines. They're just too heavy. Just heavy stocks. All right, so we got producer price index. What's the market doing? Let me pull it up. $4.81 a gallon. It's pretty cheap. All right, producer price index. U.S. March producer prices, final demand 1.4, consensus 1.1. March PPI, ex food energy 1% versus 0.5, so just higher in general. 10-year U.S. Treasury yield briefly moves higher after PPI data. So a little bit higher than expected on both sides. Did we expect anything else? I'm not sure. Probably not. But yeah, okay, so PPI data's out. A little bit higher than expected. Let's see what the market reacts to it. Right now, it looks like it's just sort of chilling. I don't see anything crazy going on. All right, so let's see. Let's see if there's anything here. Keep me updated if you see anything change here. Okay, so XLP. Yeah, PPI is not going to be as... I mean, it's important, but I don't think it's going to be like day changing. So XLP, guys, what am I watching here on XLP? I'm looking for a retest of all-time highs. Now, why is that? Why am I looking for that? Because that's what Costco did, right? Costco pulled back to all-time highs and had a big push off of it. Now, of course, it's giving some up right now because this was just an astonishing move on a stock like Costco, which is just sort of expected. But I am going to see if it does the same thing. Why not? I'm going to look to see if the XLP pushes back to 78 and if it starts to turn that into support. If it does, great. I'll look to see if I can, follow some of the strength on XLP. If not, then you probably have a little bit of a pullback here after a pretty monstrous move. So you can see already it's been sort of holding this 78 over the last 3-4 days. You can see this sort of 78. Maybe there's like a little bit of a ceiling there that's holding it up. But yeah, I'm looking to see, does this 78 hold, and do we start to get a little bit of a breakout again? You'd have to get a breakout over like 79. So you're in about $1 channel right now on XLP, but the channel is sort of hovering above a previous all-time high. So that's interesting to me, right? When you're seeing consolidation above a previous all-time high, that's pretty bullish to me at times. So I'm going to watch this. XLP, if we start to heat up on the XLP again, guys, you got to watch stocks like Walmart, like Costco, like Coca-Cola, like Pepsi, like Procter & Gamble. You got to look away from the tech stocks because these stocks make money too, and you can absolutely trade them. Look at this chart on Pepsi. I mean, it's pretty astonishing. Look at this reversal on Pepsi. Just a V-shaped recovery. Just crazy. So I definitely want to make sure I'm aware of if the XLP starts to heat up again. Is there some XLP names, some consumer staple names that I can go ahead and trade? So I'm watching this like a hawk. Going to keep an eye on XLP. If you guys start to see this thing heat up again and break out, I would be looking at some of these names. I would also watch this XLF today, guys. I know XLF has been just a, just not even worth looking at. But I'm going to keep an eye on it with all the bank earnings coming out. I'm going to see what this thing wants to do. It's slightly lower this morning off bank earnings. JP Morgan was sort of crappy. You guys can see here. Banks have just not been... I just have nothing good to say about bank stocks. They just don't do what you want them to do. I just don't really even see the I just don't even see the want to have capital in them, over the last year. I mean, this was just a push with the overall market, which I guess is expected. But other than that, banks just never really outperform anything. They really don't act as any type of safety. I don't know. I really don't see just in my experience, I really don't see the attraction to investing in bank stocks. They've been really weak with tech. Why, if tech's weak and banks, like, wouldn't you want typically a bank to outperform a tech stock, right? In a harsh environment, that's not the fact. So it's just, it's moving down with tech. If anything, your safety is in the XLP names, right? Stocks like Pepsi, like Coca-Cola, like Costco. Look at Coca-Cola, man. Look at that. Just crazy. All-time highs yesterday on Coca-Cola. So what's the advantage of owning a bank stock? There's no safety there. I'd rather be looking at, XLP names, stocks that are actually showing themselves as safety names during a weak tech sector. So it's been a tough few months with banks. Just a lot of stuff going on in the macroeconomic environment, inflation, interest rates. It's all in, right in the headwinds of everything. So let's see what happens. XLF sort of sideways. I want to see what it does this week. That's basically why I bring it up, because JP Morgan's reporting, Goldman Sachs reporting, Citibank's reporting, all of them are reporting, Morgan Stanley. So just keep an eye on it. Yeah, Wells Fargo had a pretty nice move, and everything sort of moved up in 2021, right? I mean, I'm ignoring that, guys. Everything did well in that 2021 bounce, right? Right here. But when the market gets in difficult times, right, it's not really doing anything for you. I would expect, there to be like some type of, I don't know, guys. I'm just saying, I would want to see banks do a little bit better in this environment, sort of like what the XLP is doing, but it's just moving down with your tech stocks. So it's just a tough one to put into a portfolio. That's sort of what I'm saying. As you manage a portfolio, I don't see the space for banks. Because I'd rather just own tech, and I want to own XLP names, right? Tech and XLP names. Not like, why put in tech, banks, and XLP, right? Why have the banks there? They're not doing anything for you, so why have money in them, all right? I'd rather have just tech and safety in XLP. But there's a lot of portfolios that say, hey, put some bank stocks in there. Why? They're losing money as my tech stocks lose money. So what's the point? Where's my diversification there? There's none. So it's just strange to me. That's sort of why I bring it up. That's why I don't own any bank stocks. All right, Abbvie. Even healthcare is a better hedge, right? Look at healthcare. XLV, XLE, anything but banks. And XLF, just nothing. So, what's next? I mean, you could say it's held up, though. Abbvie. So, pretty incredible stock. You guys can see pulling back. I would be looking at this 20 SMA. Dividend, yeah, Dean, I agree. That's a decent reason for it. But you can get dividends elsewhere, right? So, you guys can see right here, 20 SMA. Nice pullback. I would be looking for this 20 SMA around this 164, 165, right? That's sort of what I'm looking for. I'm looking to see if Abbvie wants to pull back to this level right here, right to the 20 SMA. So 20 SMA, that brings us back to this little zone. If I go to the 4-hour chart, actually, I'm going to go hourly. Here we go. So right here on the hourly is where I'm going to be looking for. If I can zoom in, Thinkorswim is going to let me zoom in. Here we go. Right here. A little bit of consolidation. Pretty ridiculous push to the upside. I'm looking to see if Abbvie starts to come back to here and maybe tries to push off of this again. That would be the 20 SMA on the daily chart. So keep an eye on that level, guys. Put it on your charts. 163s, 20 SMA on the daily. If you're looking for a pullback on Abbvie, you want to make sure you're aware of that. Next, Walmart. This could set up like Costco. Could or could not. I'm not sure. That will depend on what the XLP does. Does the XLP bounce off all-time highs? If it does, you're going to get a Walmart push here. And this could be a very nice retest of all-time highs, just like Costco. So previous highs. You guys can see rejection. And you can see a pullback and a hold of this level. And I'm looking to see if Walmart wants to hold this level. I'm not sure if it does. If the XLP breaks down, Walmart's going to break down too. Maybe we need to come back to that 20, where you can see we've held in the past. 20 SMA, bounced off the 20. Maybe we need to come back to 150s, but this could be interesting. Something I would definitely be watching, right? Rejection. Does it hold that previous all-time high? That's another watch for me today. All right. Let me go to what the members want to look at, and then we're going to get out of here. If you guys could take a second and press the like button, that would be fantastic. Oh, why is it playing a video? YouTube just turned on a video for me. Sorry, guys. It's an ad on my last video. My channel, community. Oh, that's why, because I clicked on the ad. All right. What do we got today? AMD, Abbvie, J&J. Did your puts come back to life? No, I sold my puts. I took a loss on them. Some people still holding. Kabir, I don't know what you want me to do, man. Just go to the TQQQ, look at the chart. You can see the exact same level. It's right here. 48. It's not very difficult, right? Just look at the chart. It's the exact same thing. These charts are the same. 337 on QQQ, 48 on TQQQ, and 13850 on Nasdaq. It's all the same stuff, guys. Could you play Walmart to the downside? I don't know. Can you? I can't answer that type of question. But, you know, I wouldn't want to play it until I saw 152 break. No. I wouldn't want to play it until I see 152 break. Absolutely not. Because I don't know. It could hold there. AMD, very weak. Really ugly stuff. This is what concerns me about NVIDIA, because AMD has already broken down. And is NVIDIA going to do the same thing? You can see AMD is clean, fresh break below 100. Look how clean that is right there. It looks like a knife right through butter. That's not very good. That's not very good when you see that. So if AMD tries to push back into 100 and it rejects, oh wow, we talked about this yesterday and it did that exact thing, didn't it? Holy crap, I didn't even realize. Look at how perfect AMD did that yesterday. I remember us talking about this in the live stream, saying if AMD pushes into 100 and rejects, play it to the downside. Holy crap, that was clean. If it does it again, I'd do the exact same thing, to be honest. So I would be looking for AMD rejections of 100. If you keep on seeing AMD push to 100, I would keep on shorting it until it doesn't work. And then you just accept your loss. So just look to see if you can get a push to 100 and see if you can reject off that level. That's what I would look for. But yeah, look how clean that rejection was yesterday. Nothing strong about AMD right now. Nothing. Okay, J&J. Yeah, J&J is just a nice XLP name. You know, it's been strong with the XLP sector. This is where you want your money for safety. You know, I can definitely see the case for the stair stepping. Yeah, I like that. Very nice little stair step pattern there. You can see it. You can see right there, right around that 179, 180. Can you get a push off of it? That is going to depend on what this sector does today, guys. XLP. Watch XLP. Look to see if you get a hold there on XLP. If you see some strength on the consumer staples, then J&J should have a nice day. But yeah, very nice stair stepping. You guys can see, beautiful stair step. Love to see that you caught that. Very happy whoever put that in there. Good job. I mean, just really learning, looking at the chart. That is really nice stuff. That's perfect stair steps, right? Previous resistance into support. Previous resistance, trying to turn into support right now. Could absolutely be a nice setup here. I like it. So yeah, I'd watch that. All right, guys. That's all I got for you today. I hope you guys did enjoy the stream. I am going to head over to the Discord chat. We're going to get ready for the day, get ready for our trades, prepare ourselves in the morning. If you guys want to check it out, the link is down below. Thank you guys so much for being here. If you guys could do one thing and just press the like button before you head out, that would be awesome. That would help out the stream, help out the channel. We're almost to 50,000 subs. That's going to be a big thing. I'm going to do something big for that. I don't know. I'm going to have to figure something out. I'm going to have to give away a bunch of stuff. But 50,000 subs, we're getting there. We're almost there. It should be, I'd probably say it takes another 4 to 5 months. So maybe you guys can help me out, get us there quicker. I'd appreciate that. That would be a big milestone for the channel. Would make me, I think it would rejuvenate me, make me know that, what I'm doing is helpful and people are liking it. So if you guys got friends, if you want to subscribe, if you want to show them the channel, if you got maybe your parents want to watch some morning live stream, let them know. But thank you guys so much. Press the like button, subscribe, and I will see you guys tomorrow morning. Peace out.